Deze is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Welcome, guys. It's going to be a great show, and we are excited to join all of our insiders tonight, and thank you for joining. Make sure you guys put who is here in the comments, share, like, all that good stuff, and welcome with us our special guest, and I'm thinking it's third or fourth time he's been on the show, Jeromy Roque.
What's going on, guys? I can't even remember how many times it's been, but it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. So I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir.
It's always been fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Jeromy doesn't really hold back, so we love guests like that.
I don't.
Well,
so you got to make sure
he
you ask
doesn't
the
hold
right questions, because the wrong questions, then I'll be like, I got to give you maybe a PC answer, but probably not. But
See, that's the good thing about Jeremy, though. He doesn't hold back, yet still finds a way to not get in trouble. I don't hold back, but find myself in trouble often.
that depends on who you ask, though. Depending on who you ask, I might say something in the next term I can't believe you said that. And then I have to say, but was it false? I mean,
Exactly.
Well, yes.
That's true. That's true. Oh man. All right. So let's go right to the news and the thing that you announced. I guess it was last week, right? Or maybe before that. I don't know. It's been a week and a half, maybe.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks, I think, week and a half, whatnot. So, man, big news, big news. So we, of course, everyone knows AAU, right? You guys know of USA Sport Karate, naturally, right? And so AAU, they have a Taekwondo program. They have, karate program, but they are now getting into the open sport karate world, which is what we all do, open sport karate. Of course, if you're Jeff Doss, you do everything because you're just that good. But the rest of us can only do one or the other, just be honest, right? And so AAU they just launched a new sport called open sport karate. And we've been in talk with them for, 4 or 5 months about being the leaders of that, and everything got signed. They're ready to rock and roll. And so now we are USA Sport Karate, myself and Dave Scalar are launching that with the AAU Open Sport Karate. Jeff, you asked my official title. It's Executive Director.
Nice.
At the end of the day, we are just here pushing the same agenda we have, and it's a unified sport karate. That is our only agenda, a unified sport karate. I'm sure we'll get more into it. But I'm excited. I'm excited about AAU and USA Sport Karate and what we're going to do for the sport karate community. Because, as you know, it's a fractured community, but I think under AAU, we can get under one umbrella, be one, one sport karate is kind of what we're going with. And that's our plan, Jeff and Alex.
Yeah. So while you're on that, let's just go straight to it. How can AAU help our sport? Share some things like, again, you and I talked last week a little bit about this. Is like just some of the things that, again, AAU has been around for a long time, right? So it's a logo, it's a brand that people know. So they take it seriously, right?
Yes.
Basketball, wrestling, soccer, everything has a strong AAU. So just explain some of the things and how this came to be.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, with AAU, of course, you have immediate name recognition, right? Everyone knows about AAU. If you ever heard someone they're playing AAU ball, you probably know they're probably pretty good. It seems like, right? They made it to the playoffs. They have all that. So with AAU and how it can help our sport, solely one thing, I think they're able to gather, and that's our mission, is to get other leagues, to get other people behind it. And so that way it's not this brand or that brand. Everyone can play under one set. Everyone can play under one set of rules. And so AAU, what they're going to do is a couple things. One, as far as the rule sets, so we're going to be using USA Sport Karate rules. That's one thing that we're doing with AAU. So all AAU open sport karate tournaments will be following USA Sport Karate rules. And AAU, they have a true path. One thing, Jeff, you and I spoke about, a true path to national championships. Every league, every organization, well, there's one that doesn't, right? But every league has a true path, has a path to a national championships. But AAU is going to have a true path, meaning you got to win there to become a national champion. And that's what we're excited about, because their national championships is the end of June, and the open sport karate national championships will also be end of June, first week of July in 2026. So we're gearing up towards that. We're just launching it now, and we're going to gear up towards 2026. But there's benefits to becoming an AAU member, right? What's up, guys? I see Damien laughing. Damien, don't worry, I'm going to keep it nice. But anyways, AAU, there's benefits to becoming an AAU member, from just being a part of their organization to the insurance benefits. Jeff, you're a part of that as well. However, our sole goal, as I said, I'm going to keep saying, is to unite sport karate, Jeff. Guys, there are a lot of leagues out there. There's a lot of events out there, but everyone is playing by different rules. Everyone is playing by different rules. If you go to a tournament this weekend or next weekend is kicks 1 point today, is kicks 2 points. What are jump kicks? What are punches? If you step out of balance, is it this? Is it that? USA Sport Karate, we're known for keeping our rules similar from ring to ring. We're not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say we are. Nobody is. But if you have 8 playing areas or 10 rings or 6 rings, one of our smaller events, every ring is running the same rules, and that's one thing. You can come to any of our tournaments. It doesn't matter if we're in Florida, if we're in New York, if we're in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, every ring is running the same rules. As I said, we're not perfect. No one is, but that's one thing we pride ourselves on. And we're trying to do that same thing across other tournaments, across other leagues. So it's one set of rules, but not only within the event, across all tournaments, all open sport karate tournaments can come together.
Well, you hit the nail on the head right there, because if one event has all the rules perfect, like every ring follows all the rules and it's great, and you're like, all right, this is awesome, things are looking great. You go to the next tournament and it's like one ring, everything's good, and you go to the next ring and you're like, well, wait, how do you guys not know the rule? Then it's like, okay, well, now everything just got thrown back up in the air. Right? So that's good. That's like, and as competitors, forms or fighting, we want to have a level playing field. We want to know what we're going into, not just that day, right? And that's the thing, is that, like, we need to know and be able to depend on knowing what the rules are, like, indefinitely. That way we can train for those things.
But Alex, to your point, and I'm not blaming the officials, even though it's them who are in the rings. When the same official has to go to one event today, one event tomorrow, one event next weekend, they're trying to quickly read up on the rules, because they don't even know what rules is this tournament going by today, right? Today, that's number one. And if they're going to a local event or a national event or a world event or whatever event you want to call it, right? They're trying to quickly study up on and say, okay, forget what we did yesterday because I was at XYZ event. Today I'm at ABC event, and they are running these rules. Naturally, any human being is going to make a mistake. Yeah. It doesn't matter how good they are. Now, they get called bad judge in this, and it's not fair to them because they're expected to get dropped into an area, dropped into a new region, and say, know the rules. We're going to give you a 15-minute judging overview if they get that, and then they have to be perfect. And, man, that's not fair to them. I don't care what judge you are. You could be the best judge. I mean, you can be my man Obeida bin Wally, one of the best judges around. But if you're asking him, hey, quickly, now the difference is Obeida will study and read and understand. But most people are just assuming that these are the rules today. So it's not their fault. And that's not fair, guys. If you play basketball, a free throw is a free throw. A field goal a quick shot out in the paint is going to be 2 points. It does not matter where you play.
Right.
But not sport karate.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when I go to tournaments, and again, let's say I'll go to NASCAR tournaments, and I'll be watching that for a while. And then I go and judge at a USA Sport Karate or another event where kicks to the body are won. That first thing is just out of reaction sometimes to call 2.
Yep.
Or the other way around where I'll just go 1 and be like, no, that's 2. I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm just used to this, because again, I'll go and judge at tournaments that still use the SKIL rules, which again are very similar to USA Sport Karate. And when I say SKIL, like old NBL rules, it's very same thing, So that's just a thing that happens. You're used to certain things and certain rules, and you got to just keep studying, growing. But we got to give everyone some, not complete lenience, but some grace, right?
Yeah. I think we just have to remind ourselves that they're human. Humans, well, I mean, let's just be honest. They might make a mistake, right? They're fallible, whatever. But the point is again, it's not their fault. They're being given a crash course on the rules. Yes. Even if you spend an hour the day of, they are coming off of what prior event, this event or that event, or maybe the league is changing the rules. And so what we want to do, I saw your thing is, what are our goals? The goals is to get everyone playing by the same rules, right? And some people may see this, Jeff, you and I spoke about this, as saying, well, what if I don't want to be USA Sport Karate? Yeah. What if I just want to be this? Well, let's just start with getting the rules, right? Yeah. If you want to be Jeff Doss Karate League, keep Jeff Doss Karate League. What we're aiming for is the rule set. And then you might as well give your competitors a path to that national championship. But let's just start with the rule set. Again. This is so important for the athletes, for the officials, for the parents, for everyone involved. And again, we mentioned all that, but the end user, the competitor that's paying all this money and they're thinking they're getting a trained official to getting all that. It starts with, like Damian said, setting our pride aside and playing by the same rules. It's not about ego. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about playing by the same rules.
Well, I 1,000% think that that's the right on, because it's not just like, hey, what are things worth? As we'll just use point fighting as an example, right? What are techniques worth when you score them? It's really like the totality of the rules. Okay, you brought up basketball. Okay, college basketball is another world. Yeah, from professional, from the NBA. It's not even close. When people think that it's basketball, it's basketball. No, it's not. They have 2 halves, right? Versus 4 quarters. And you think, it's easy. No, the rules as to how things run. It's not even just like what the ref calls. What the ref calls that's not really what makes it different. It's a totally different game, right? Mm-hmm. Even though they're playing the game of basketball, it's a different kind of game. That can end up to be the same thing within our umbrella of a sport, right? It can end up to be like, you do the NASCAR thing, that's a whole nother world. You do the WACO thing, that's a whole nother world. You do the USA Sport Karate thing, it's a whole nother world. And that's not what we want. Mm-hmm, all of us always say the same thing. We all want a unified rule system so that we all can know ahead of time. Because if I'm training and I know that something is going to be called and I'm never used to that, okay, that totally changes things, right? Yep. I need to really change the way I train now. Because now if you go into the tournament and you go, oh, well, this is how things are called here. We're like, well, that would have been great to know 6 months ago. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
It's a mix, but it's also the professional look of the event. Yeah. You have to, let's also take a step back and look. A judge priding themselves on how they're carrying themselves, how they're dressing, is important. If you walk into a karate school, and I'm sorry to say, if dude's in a basketball shorts and cutoff sleeve shirt, from, I don't know where he got the shirt from. I can tell how serious you take your job. I can tell how serious you take what you're doing. And I don't want any part of it. Same thing when it goes to the officials. Are the officials looking professional? Now, again, we have a clear set of attire.
Yeah.
Black pants, black shoes, officials polo, depending on your level. Now, something that we're tightening up because we care about the look, you got to have your shirt tucked in. We've been guilty of that. I'm going to say this. We've been guilty of that. But something we're tightening the ship is it's not just what you're wearing, it's how you're wearing it, right? How are you wearing your shirt? What are you doing? Because now that official is going to take their job a little more serious. They're going to show more care. And then let's go another step further. Paying officials. Every official on our floor gets paid, depending on their level, depending on their position, whether you're a corner or a center, you get paid. Now, no one's getting rich off of judging at tournaments. But again,
we just don't want them to go out of pocket to be there.
You shouldn't. And we're telling you, we're committing to you. We're committing in your success. And we want you to take the same seriousness in what you're doing. Again, you're human. Things are gonna happen. But so not just the rule set, the professional look. You can't call yourself a professional event when you got judges in shorts, flip-flops, tanks, or the judges don't even look the same. So that's the next thing. Yeah.
I got a question on the shoes thing. What do you? I'm curious about that. Look, like black shoes. I think that's a good move. Black slacks, black shoes. What kind of shoes? Because are you talking like black leather shoes, like wingtips almost? Are you talking loafers? Are we talking like slides, like Vans? Like
so we allow.
I'm curious.
As long as the shoe is primarily black, we allow it. Like I prefer. So I use some Kohans. They're comfortable. I can
move in a Kohan pretty well.
I'm not wearing my wedding shoes, right?
Yeah.
I can move in them. I feel comfortable. I like them. But, as long as you're wearing black shoes, that's our start right now. Again, for a unified look. But, there's some people wearing black Nikes. They're a little more comfortable for them. And I get it. Crocs, can't wear those. Go out of here. No sandals. But I prefer the black sort of dress shoe, that jumper, that casual, there's a word. It's like a modified.
Dress casual.
Dress casual. There you go. It's funny. I was talking to my wife about that because I'm like, babe, I got to find another pair of shoes. And I could not remember that dress casual. I got to go back and search and find me some because I need a new pair of shoes. I had them for a little while.
Weird thing. I got to tell you this. This is the wildest thing, right? Okay. It's going to sound like it's connected to me, but I promise it's not, right? So I'm doing this event show. It's kind of a big deal. And this guy was like, your name, you have a pretty famous name, you know that? And I'm like, come on now. Right. If you Google like my name, like that's like me and like my uncle, who's like a really high level and like an officer in the army. And I'm like, get the heck out of here. Like, and he goes, you know, Martin Dingman shoes, right? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. And they're like super expensive shoes, but they have a lot of those types of shoes that you're talking about, like almost like a mesh, but it's like a dress, like casual shoe. And I'm like, oh, I got to get me some of these. Then I find out they're $375. And I'm like, I can wait. I'm not even making that up. Right. But that type of shoe, that's kind of what you're talking about. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly. I mean, you have to be in a comfortable shoe. And hey, I'm not saying you don't go spend $300 on a shoe. You won't catch me spending that kind of money on a shoe. But hey, the right shoe will make you a better person as well. I mean, you're going to stand a little straighter. You're going to feel a little comfortable because when it hits 3:00 and you're judging, your feet are hurting, you're probably going to make some bad calls.
Correct.
Well, there's that too.
All right. So, Jeromy, let's get to, I know we had someone in the question was about, AAU. The other thing that AAU is very big on is, especially if you're an adult or a judge or a coach, is the background check.
I love it.
Let's talk about that. That's definitely a hot topic right now.
So it's definitely a hot topic, as it should be. I don't know about you, but in Florida, when we run our schools, my staff all has to get background check. It's just bottom line. If not, you risk getting shut down. Bottom line, if they walk in and the staff is not background checked, quickly shut down or pay like $1,000 a day fee until then, right? And that's the right way to go. So
Right.
yes, AAU, very simple. Any person involved in the tournament that is inside the barricades on the mat, coach, scorekeeper, official, coordinator,
Yep.
they need to get a background check. You know, myself and Dave Scalar, my partner in this, we already did that. We are as expected. We passed our background checks. But at the end of the day, every official moving forward, we're going to be having these same protocols. Now, we're not doing it tomorrow, right? But that is, we have a game plan. We have a strategic game plan we're working towards. And I think that's the way it should be. Now, background checks is not going to stop what you do tomorrow, but it does say at least today, right now, this person is clean. They're ready to go. And as a parent, now you know any person in the official capacity that comes in contact with my child has passed a background check. And that's
and you can prove to like an insurance company that you were not negligent.
Well, correct. Exactly. And so AAU's, I think mine came back last week. Honestly, I'm just telling you, it was a step up. I've done the past 2 years. And I think the past 2 years, it was a 2-day thing for me to get my results. This year, it took 5 days. They use a newer, higher level company. I think it's like NCSA. So very professional, very organized, very legit. And I mean, it's you have to make sure you pay attention, and because they will send you emails that you need to go in and double check and click. So it's a big deal. So definitely for me, it makes just that protection, but also the seriousness of it. You know, so that's something that to me is what AAU does great, right?
No, I think it's important, and you know, it's not just about telling people, hey, we're not going to allow people who do certain things, because at the end of the day, no league allows anyone on the floor knowingly who has committed or done certain things in the past, knowingly, right? But this is foolproof. I can't just say I'm not going to allow. I need to do something about it if you're caring about the sport. But again, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to
and that's pretty base level too.
It's base level. It's base level.
It's for any type
of every year, Leandro.
Like, all right, here's the thing. Like at my kids' is like school, all right? It's like a private school, all right? I'm pretty involved, right? But like if I want to go on the field trip, even if I just want to go myself, without taking anybody, I could just take my own kid in my car. But if I'm going to go where the school is, I have to take a background check.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. As you
and
should.
I don't, as I should, right?
Yeah.
So look at that. I don't have anything to do with what they're doing in any way, shape, or form. I'm just around, right?
Yep.
Yes. Got to have background check.
But Alex, that goes back to, again, people caring about the sport.
Yeah.
It's more than just the rules.
Yep.
It's more than just a professional environment, professional looking judges. It's more about the consistency and the training. All that is important, very, very important. But when you care about the sport and you're putting the end user, the competitor first, you're not afraid to do these things, right? And that's what it comes down to. What are you doing a tournament for? Are you just hosting it to get some money in your pocket, right? Well, please step aside because you're hurting our sport. Please step aside. You're hurting our sport. We want people who care about the sport. And when you care about the sport, there are several things you need to do, right? There's several things you should be doing, right? And this is why we're here. And since day one, so real quick, give you a 30-second history, right, of USA Sport Karate.
Get it.
Right? It's in Florida, there was 2 leagues. There was Blitz and there was Kick USA at the time. Dave Scalar was running Kick USA. I was running Blitz. Everyone knows this part. But I guess we were competitors, so to speak. But we started with, hey, Dave, myself, we sat, we're hurting our customer.
Yeah.
We started talking, we started saying, my kids go to your league, your kids come to my league. But when I'm going to your league, I have to retrain my mind and retrain my kids. They're used to a certain set of rule set, right? And so we started with just simple as that. Let's play by the same rules, right? Mm-hmm. Because we cared about the customer. Had nothing to do with what it's formed into now. We just started with, I care about my student. I care about your student. I care about this guy's karate school coming to our tournaments, let's get together and play by the same rules. We try to do that with another league down here, but you know how that goes. But anyway, so it worked well. And so then it formed into what we are today, USA Sport Karate. But it all started with putting the customer first. It all started with putting the customer first. So Dingman, when you talk about, background checks, and we talk about the professional environment, some people are starting, they're not starting with the right mindset. Begin with the end in mind, right? The end in mind is a happy customer. The end in mind is a competitor who wants to come back, and they want to come back because they had a good experience, or at least whether they won or lost, they know it was based on the rules, not because of an opinion or a feeling. It was based on the fact of the rules. You may not like that they called my point versus your point, but at least you can agree that was a point, right? And that's so important. And so anyone out there, any tournaments, any leagues who are truly interested in bettering the sport, we want to hear from you. We want to talk to you, want to chat with you. Please reach out, because we care about the next step of the sport. And we believe this partnership with USA Sport Karate AAU can do that. This is not about, again, it's not about you getting rid of your name and getting rid of your event and us. No, it's truly about professionalism and uniting.
I love it.
Well, and that's the thing is if you have a group of people and you utilize all of their best skills and abilities, then it starts to grow. But if you can have the most talented person and say, listen, this is all I need for you to do. All right. If you ask Adrian Peterson to punt the ball, probably not going to be that great. He's probably going to get cut. Right. But if you go, hey, you're really good at running, you should just smash people and run them over and just do this thing that you're really good at. We could use those skills. That would be great for us. Okay. But then, I think there's so much untapped stuff that even ourselves, we don't even know what to ask, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm not USA Sport Karate, right? But we love people that give us. You don't mean that tournament, right? But we want people to give us your ideas, give us your input. We want your skills and abilities. What do you have to offer us, not just as a tournament, but as a circuit and a sport, right? That's what we really need, right?
So it's funny you mentioned that, because as I spoke with Jeff the other day, it's something we're doing now is just bringing people in, speaking with them, getting their opinion. We want to hear everyone's. We're not just here as dictators and saying this is how it's going to be done.
Right.
We want to bring in, have a committee, speak with these league owners, speak with these schools, speak with even competitors, because the other truth to that fact, Dingman, you said the sport will grow with this. Yes, that's true. But the sport is also currently growing without it. Let's just be honest. At some events, it's currently growing without it. But we as a martial artist, we need to demand more. We need to demand more. We need to expect more. And we need to make sure that we ask for more. And the way you do that is by showing up to events who are professional, like-minded. And I'm not saying not show up to events who are not. I'm just saying demand more, ask for more.
Well, wait a minute now. You say it's growing. Where would you say, and I'm really curious because I have no idea, where would you say it's growing the most?
I would say, you go to these world tournaments, right? And they again, I'll take a step back. I guess per their social media, it looks like they're growing, right? Right. And so in terms of the competitor amount, the competitor attendance, right?
Sure.
Competitor attendance seems like it's going up. Now, growing in the other ways, I wouldn't say so. But I would say competitor attendance wise, yes.
Right.
Well, from what you know within USA Sport Karate, where would you say the growth is happening the most?
So the growth for us, if we're just talking about, the growth for us in our officials base. Our officials base is growing drastically. So I'll tell you this, in Florida, and of course, we had our tournament in New Jersey, and in Pennsylvania, we had so many officials. Kyle Reed did a great job getting officials. But in Florida, there are some events we have so many officials that we cannot use them all. Why?
Right.
Seriously, I say, guys, I just don't have enough rings. Sorry. And I feel bad, but because they're there, because they want to contribute, and not because they're not only looking to give back, but number one, they took their certification, they're trained, they also want to get paid, they want to be there for the kids, they want to be there for the athletes. So for us, two areas. One is our officials pool is growing, and we want to make sure we continue that, because we have levels depending on how long you've been judging, depending on your test, your certification. You can go from a corner white shirt to a red shirt to a black shirt national, right? And that shows your growth in the league. It shows your understanding of the rule set, your understanding of the ring, how to do everything that we're asking you to do. So our officials base is growing. I got to real quick, I'm going to shout out to my man, Jeromy Roque, because he's a huge advocate for what we're doing here, because he believes. And check this out. I know Damien so well, and we're good friends. He calls me way too much, Damien. But if he didn't believe in what we were doing, no matter how much he values our friendship, I know for sure he'd be out, because he puts the sport first. He cares about the sport first.
Right.
And that's important. It's the sport. You got to put the sport.
Yep. I love it. So, Jeromy, that's the best way to sum this up. I know you got to go, but I want to hear before you leave, we are doing our top axe kicks list, and then you can go and help with putting your son to bed. But we are so
Daddy
grateful.
Duty calls, man. Daddy duty calls, no matter how old they are. If not, he'll be going to bed too late.
You said you had like a Florida list, so let's hear it. Let's hear the Florida
top axe kicks. Yeah, because we're gonna let you do daddy duty. That's why.
We're gonna let you do it, and then we'll do it once you leave. All right.
Perfect. So Florida list, and I did a recent Florida, because sometimes we go back in the history and we're like, man, let's talk about today, right?
Yeah.
We're not last few years. So, and I had 4 actually. I don't know why I'm short 5. But number 1, not from Florida. I got to put this guy in the list because his actually to me is the best because of his sheer size. Robbie Lavoie's got to be on this list because he's the smallest fighter, yet he'll still hit you with the axe kick. And most times you think of something axe kick as being 6'2", 6'3". Well, naturally they better have a good axe kick. Robbie to me is on the top of that list just because of his sheer size. All right. Yeah. I mean, or whatnot. So, all right. Florida. Let's go to Florida. So I got a few fighters. We'll start with Alex Lane. Alex Lane, top Florida fighter, top national fighter. He's probably on top 5 lists as well for national. Solid guy, great axe kick. Very hard to get around his kicks in general, but we're focusing on axe kick. Gonna bring up my man Leo Valdivia.
Oh yeah,
he does have a good one. He's sneaky underrated. That's good. Good call.
When Leo, and the worst part about it, if it hits you, ouch. When that kick hits you, very, very painful. All right, next one, and this is the name we haven't heard in a while, but I remember fighting him, and he brings that leg up so hard, it's hard to get around. From Miami, out of Alex Reyes' camp, Ray Mendoza.
Mendoza does it. He hit me with one time. Right.
Mendoza has a powerful axe kick, and it's very hard to get around. He moves his head a certain way. It's just hard to score. And then the last one on my list, we mentioned his name earlier, and his axe kick sets it up. But when he was younger, it's really his hammer fist that came off of it. Obeida Ben Wally. When he comes out with his axe kick, and he would always follow up quickly with a strong hammer fist right behind.
He did hammer fist. What's the deal with that? He would hammer fist. He'd call it a back fist, but it's a hammer fist.
It was a hammer fist, dude. It was just straight up. He didn't have a reverse
Billy Blanks always did that.
Billy Blanks like boom, boom, boom. Like, what are you doing, Donkey Kong? Relax. I mean, jeez.
I love it.
Hey, but I'll stay a few more minutes. I want to hear your list.
Oh yeah, Jeff, you better go first because I'm gonna get into it.
All right, I'm gonna put up Mike P's list that he just put out. because that's cool.
Pedro Mafia, Anthony Price, Nika Carlson Lee, Christine Bannon Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That's,
So
yes,
several of them
I think
are on
all
my
of
list.
those are, I'm going to be mentioning them too. Mike,
Yeah,
that's
so-
fantastic.
All right. And
And
again,
he should know because he's seen everyone.
yeah, exactly. I of course, we both are so bad at this. We want to put honorable mentions, but honorable mention for me, Ebony Adams, especially like when she would axe people in fighting, was it crazy? But even she had one of the best forms axe kicks ever. Like it stood out, right? Christine Bannon Rodriguez, to me, always just great axe kick. There's another competitor people maybe on the NASCAR side don't know. This guy named Rourke Hudson, who was great at all the forms weapons in the NBL circuit, but his axe kick in continuous especially was amazing. And then Claire Kokoza, I just felt like she always, would have one. And then one, even though he would do this in fighting too, but probably the best forms axe kick or the one that's most recognizable, Gabe Renaga, because he would do the axe kick, put
That's
it in his
point.
form. He would do it on people in sparring. That dude could axe kick. All right. I did numbers this time. I usually don't. Jason Borelli, I would put number 5, even though it was a hax kick, but it was still a version of the axe kick.
You put him 5?
See, I knew you were going to complain.
You put him at 5?
4, Hakeem Austin.
Okay.
4 is Hakeem Austin, who would axe kick the whole earth, all right, in half. All right. And honestly, for the longest time, probably had the best one, especially in men's. And then another guy just as big as him, Brent Beatty from Canada. If you don't know,
about putting Brent. I really did. I thought about
amazing.
that one.
And Brent Beatty was so good. He would drop people, knock people out with it. This was the hard one for me between 2 and 1, because to me, they're the best 2 axe kickers, male and female. And you have Nikki Carlson Lee is number 2, Pedro Xavier number 1. So that's where I would put that.
Before you go, Dingman, how about current fighters?
Yeah, current is
the current ones.
Current today fighters right now.
When Katarina drops an axe kick, it's nice.
Yeah,
I love watching her do that. Anytime Justice Floyd does an axe kick, it's nice. There is.
You gotta say Latona. Latona.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Jason Enrique Latona.
Latona's got that axe kick that it's real short. It's almost like a mini hook, but it's an axe.
Yes.
And it's so quick around the shoulder. You got him in there, but go ahead.
Because he's showing his sidekick, and everybody's like, well, I don't want to have anything to do with that sidekick. That does bring their hands down, and then boom, he slaps you with it, right?
There's so many, but I mean,
I will say this: he underperforms.
Yeah.
He underperforms, but Alonzo Payne's got a good axe kick. All right.
Okay.
But I would say probably the best one's probably still Enrique Latona.
Oh yeah. I think Enrique. Yeah. All right, we're getting some Darren Payne, some Cam Dawson. I like it.
I thought about both of those guys too.
Yeah.
Right. Because if Cam Dawson does connect with it, like even if you block it, like he's gonna rip your arm off.
Man, if Cam connects with anything, the best part about Cam, not only talking about axe kicks, is you look at this guy, this big guy, and you don't think he can move like he does, do what he does. He switch kicks. Cam can fight on either side, as it looks like. He punch with both hands. Cam is just incredible. And then, of course, Darren D-Stacks.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? I mean.
There was a video that just came out from his fight in California of Cam. And he did like a switch round spin axe kick at me. It was just like, he just kept going. I'm like, and people were like, what? And the best was just like Willie Hicks is right there. Just like,
I saw that in Pan Am's maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think he's fighting Yoskar.
Yeah.
And he just did round, switch round, spin hook kick. Yeah. And he connected with all of them. I'm like, this guy, oh my God. I was just sitting back. Thank God I wasn't judging, because I was able to appreciate it more.
Right.
It was impressive.
So all right, before you do yours, one more person for me. I just got another just to highlight was Nate Windsor. Nate Windsor always had a great match.
Man, Nate. Yes. I hated fighting Nate. Yeah. Man, it was so hard to get around anything, because he's such a big guy. He stayed upright in his kicks that he kept his body right behind the axe kick. It was so tough to get around it.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the because he could stay in a straight line when he did it. Right. The guys who would even have like a really good axe kick, but if their head would tip off to the side, like that actually makes it really dangerous to them. Like you're gonna lift your leg up that much.
Obeda, I was thinking about him.
Yeah,
I
Joe,
was forgetting his name. I know he was a Florida guy up in Jax. And yes.
Yeah, Joe Falanga. Well, he's probably talking about the New York one. Joe Falanga, yeah, from up there, yeah. But and then a lot of people were saying Joe Fife as well. So
yeah,
Joe Fife was one of those guys.
Is up there. Sorry to cut you off, Dingman.
No, go ahead.
Alex, sorry, Jeff, who is
Falanga's from New York. Yeah, Joe Falanga's from New York. So he was
the other guy from here. He's a Taekwondo guy from Florida. He currently lives like up in the Jacksonville area. NBL. Man.
Dude, now I'm forgetting now. I can't believe.
Taekwondo. Oh, yeah. I couldn't. It's not Joe. I thought it was Joe, but it's not Joe. It's someone else. Anyways, if you think of his name.
We're going to figure it out. Drew, help us out. You should know some of these guys.
But one of the things about Joe Fife, and there's a lot of other guys like him, is like you wouldn't if you watch him and you're around him, then you start to think about it and you go, oh, okay, I can see how important the axe kick is to his game, even though he may not land a lot of those, right? Like, all right, I trained with, and we talked about him last week because we talked about Rich Hands, Hamid Farouzi, right? Hamid actually, there was a time where we were training and I was just like having an easy time with him. And I'm like, what's wrong with you today, man? And he goes, I can't axe kick. And I'm like, that should have nothing to do with you. Right. And he goes, I can't axe kick. I can't set my stuff up. He's like, what am I going to do? Side kick you? Right. Like you weigh 50 pounds more than me. I can't side kick you away. I'm like, it's a good point. But the axe kick makes you move away. Right.
Yeah. All right, Alex, to your list. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Here's my honorable mentions. There's a few of them. I also had Robbie Lavoie. All right. This one, I don't think you guys remembered, but Brian Ruth in his younger years,
you're right. Yeah.
Very good. Donald Brady, he would make it an axe kick or an inside crescent kick. Like either way, it came up, it went down, it hit you in the face. Jerry Prince, very, very good.
Yeah.
Morgan Plowden.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys forgot about that.
Yeah.
One, right?
Yeah.
Claire Kokoza, Alex Lane, also on my honorable mentions. And this one, Justice Lawrence.
Yeah.
Justice Lawrence.
Putting him in there too. Yeah.
At number 5, I got Anthony Price. Anthony Price. Also, very surprised you guys forgot about Trevor Nash.
I didn't. I was thinking about him, but yeah. I figured I'd let you be
about him, but yeah.
I mean, he always had that same scene. I mean, he calls it like a 0-point chamber. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was always up there showing like the heel of a sidekick. But boom, the axe kick was able to come so easily from there, which is why Katarina does it that way. She even says, I just do the Trevor way, right? Nikki Carlson Lee at number 3, Jason Borelli not at number 5, at number 2, right? And then the axe kick, the best axe kick is Pedro Xavier.
Yeah,
definitely. I love it, man. I love it. Well, that stuff's fun, right? Like this is fun talking about the thing. So next week,
hard.
Yeah, it is hard, especially with a kick that everybody in some point
throws.
Or everyone loves to try an axe kick. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you hit someone with an axe kick, kind of like when we talk about when you hit someone with a ridge hand, it just feels good, right? It feels good. So next week we're gonna do the top 5. Yes, we did. Yes, Jeromy mentioned Leo's axe kick there, Murphy. Next week we're gonna do a 540 list, so that's gonna be super hard. So.
That's old school move, but everyone can do it now. But see, now people do it when they're like purple belts. So
it's a lot different.
It don't even mean anything now.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. And guys, if you want to reach out, message Jeromy, message Dave about this project and what's in the future of our sport. So keep it up, man.
Guys, if you're looking to get involved, please reach out to me or shoot us an email at info@usasportkarate.com. As I said, the goal is unity, The goal is unity. So if you're looking to get involved, reach out. We love to speak with you on what we're doing. We love to get your input, and we'll kind of go from there. Jeff, Alex, I appreciate you having me. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank
See
you,
soon,
brother. All right. See, that was fun, right? Lots of good
Really
info, lots of awesome goals. And it's all about growing our sport, guys. So let's keep working on that.
Hang on.
right.
I still just can't believe. How did you put Jason Borelli at number 5?
Just did because I felt
Listen,
like
there was some I missed on Akeem Alston. I'll admit that, right?
yeah,
I
dude,
missed,
and Brett Beatty was one of the best ones I ever
and I
saw.
thought about Brent Beatty, and I
Yeah.
really, I probably should have had him in, at least in the mentions. I don't know
And
why
I'm
I didn't
sorry,
mention
but
him. If I'm
when you
thinking about him, why
mention
didn't I do it?
Nicky Carlson, you think axe
Oh
kick,
yeah.
okay?
Well, that's
So,
why it was easy for me. 1, 2, 3 was easy. It's Pedro, Jason, Nikki. You switch it however you want as far as listing the number. I probably was never going to put Jason number 1 because of how prominent Nikki and Jason were, or Nikki and Pedro were. But I did. It's like for me, 1, 2, 3, either one of them. But you put the guy at 5. I don't get that.
Okay, fine, whatever. He's in the top 5. Whatever, he made it. There's a lot of other people that had amazing axe kicks. All right,
He's the greatest kicker in all of tournament fighting.
Well, if that's the case, you should have had him on number 1 on every list then. All right.
Well, maybe I will. How about that?
I don't care. Shut your face. All right. All right. So first off, I got a couple of happy birthdays. So first one, it's my son Wesley's birthday today. He turned 20. So he had a great day. And he always, especially since he started martial arts, he's recognized that he shares a birthday with Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah.
Old Chuck E. T. So Chuck Norris,
Chuck E. T.
I don't know where I got that, but yeah. So Chuck Norris, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Love to have you on the show.
I've talked about it for 5 years straight.
Right. So happy birthday, Chuck Norris. Best Chuck Norris movie. Go. Favorite.
Sidekicks.
Okay.
It's not the best, but it's my favorite. 100%.
I have like 2. Oh, happy birthday, Drew, to your son. That's awesome.
Happy birthday.
I always like A Force of One that has Chuck Norris and Bill Wallace in it. That was a great movie. Yeah. And then that's one of my favorite ones. And then
what's the one where he comes out of when he was storming the beach and he had to come out of the water and he came out shooting? What is that one?
I think it's Delta Force.
Delta, yeah, Delta something.
I like those, I liked a lot of the ones where he was he used his martial arts, but was shooting a lot of people. Shooting a lot of people.
But see, that's why Sidekicks was so cool, because Sidekicks, when Jonathan Brandis, when he would have all those daydreams, he'd basically be daydreaming about old Chuck Norris movies.
Yeah. That movie
Sidekicks rocks.
So, all right, yeah, I like the nunchuck. I love that it was actually in a sport karate tournament. Like it actually happened at the karate Olympics that they put on. But the thing is that freaking they made this dude out and Winnie from the Wonder Years was so annoying on that movie. Okay. And you go back and watch it, and they made this dude like such a loser. And it was like, dude, he's just got asthma. Stop acting like he's gonna die. It's okay. It's just freaking asthma.
Yeah, but the way he got picked on and hazed, that was pretty applicable. I think that people could recognize with that.
Some of that's extreme. I don't think it's super true.
I think that I saw stuff like that straight up to a T. Yeah, I was just gonna say that, Obeda. Yeah, and Kim Do was in the movie. You remember that, Jeff, right?
Of course. Well, dude, we did. We brought Wayne on Fist Kicks and Flicks and did an interview with him, telling this whole story about performing in that and being there. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of famous Texas martial arts people as well as just sport karate people. So
who else do we know in sport karate that was in that movie?
Let's see. Danielle Dixon, her father, Chris Minshew, George Minshew was actually, I think, his tournament set up. Gary Lee was in there.
That's who I remember seeing as well.
There's a lot of different people. So yeah. But all right. So we got that going on. So happy birthday. Let's see. Oh, all right. This is one announcement for us. We are doing an Inside Scoop NCAA bracket. So if you guys want to get on board with us, all right,
Let me know.
be a
Shoot me a
part of that.
message.
So shoot Alex. Well, Alex doesn't have any way to contact him. So
shoot third shift DJs a message.
shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and we will get you involved in this bracket. We just sent it out to a few groups. You should actually put it in the chat here.
Can I do that? Oh, I think I can do that. Hang on, let me do that.
To be able to do that. So yeah, so we're doing that. The only rule apparently Alex said was what? What was the rule? What was the only rule?
Did I say there was a rule?
Yeah. He said that there could only be it was fine as long as one person didn't win.
Oh yeah, as long as you don't win. That's right.
So if you guys don't know, I'm undefeated in fantasy basketball right now. Beating Alex twice, but I don't know, man. I kind of feel like
you beat me twice. You beat everyone who played. Oh wait, this year in fantasy basketball. But
yeah, let's be honest.
Everybody in fantasy football. It's getting annoying.
I don't know if everyone is playing full on. Yeah, I mean, this is 4 years in a row I won the fantasy football. That was cool. I still got to win the championship, so I can't say nothing until I win the championship. So, all right. So we got the Inside Scoop NCAA bracket. That's going to be fun. And another thing that I put out today, I started the event page. Grand Slam Experience, June 22nd. We're gonna bring back a tournament or have a martial arts tournament. Myself and Grand Slam Martial Arts, me and Shelly, are going to be running this Grand Slam Experience. Not quite the Grand Slam Open yet. We will hopefully have that in 2026, but we are taking the steps towards that. So we're calling it the Experience, so you guys can experience some of the creativity and the things that we do. We're going to keep it it's going to be a Sunday afternoon. So we have some limit on time wise, but we're going to make it a great experience for everyone, having some fun, and just having a great atmosphere. That's the biggest thing for it. So it'll be in Lynchburg, Virginia. Oh, baby, you crazy. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. My instructor, Master Arthur, he puts on a martial arts retreat, right? So that will start Friday. I think we'll have maybe some sparring clinics and continuous fighting clinics at my karate school. Saturday, he'll have all day of training with different of the masters in the area, working all kinds of stuff, sport karate things, self-defense, knife, Krav Maga, defense lab, all kinds of different things. And then they finish that up on Sunday. And then after that will be when we will have the tournament to finish out the weekend. So we're looking forward to it. That would be awesome, Abeda. So it's going to be a fun time. I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's been 7 years since I put on a tournament. I started putting my judges list together, and I just blanked out after 2 or 3 people just because it's new to me to do this again. So I'm excited for it. And it pushes me. So,
well, we have all been asking for Grand Slam for quite a while. So the fact that you're coming in with a little bit of something, I mean, I think it's going to be fun. Now, are you going to do pre-registration only? I think we were kind of chatting about that.
Yes, I think my idea is to do pre-reg only, especially for the underbelts. Get those going. I may even put a limit on it, but if I have it all set up, yeah, we won't talk about the last time you're at Grand Slam, Abeda or Jeromy. But actually, we may soon. Who knows, right? That would be fun.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
The Grand Slam Experience. Yeah, we're going to do that, and we're going to make it to where it will be probably pre-reg only. Of course, we'll see how everything goes with how our setup is, and the schedule and everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm trying to share this
thing. A couple of things we're going to do different. We're not having a bunch of divisions. We're doing forms, weapons, sparring. We're going to have probably 7 adult black belt divisions. My idea for that is going to be, I have a base amount that I'm going to give for first place as far as prize money, but the more competitors, the more money you can win. So again, I'll put that out soon as, hey, all right, you have 1 to 4 competitors. This is what you're going to win. But if we get past 5, it'll go up to 10. It'll go up. So that's going to be the idea for that. For the black belt, adult black belts, for that. So the more competitors, the more money that there is for that. At least even the top 3, I'm going to work on doing. That's the plan. And then also for the forms of weapons, we're going to do a second round. So the top 3 will move on and we'll do a different form, and again, because it's forms division, well, you do your traditional form first round. Okay. You can either do a different traditional form, or you could do an open form, or you can do, whatever you want to do. Really challenge our competitors because we had the time to do it and the way to do it, and also to make it worth your money, and then also to put on a show for the up and comers watching, right? To let everyone see your full martial arts ability. So we're going to be working on some things like that, and more information will come out soon. So,
Jeff, are you getting the link that I'm trying to send to you? I'm trying to put it
Uh,
in the chat. It's not coming in.
I got it in my text.
I sent it to you in the text also because I'm trying to put it in the chat and it's just not.
I'll just see if I can do it, guys. All right. Let's see. See if they'll let me. All right. We'll see if it goes through.
Because I try to.
Yep, right there. But
see, there you go. All right.
Yep.
I don't know. If
So there you go, guys. Click. There's our link.
Can decipher what that is.
There we go.
But,
I know, right?
But join that. So that's the Inside Scoop Bracket Challenge.
Sounds great. Sounds great. All right. Anything else that's going on, guys? I mean, it's kind of crazy. We're under an hour right now, but what is new? What's everyone doing this weekend? I know there's some tournaments going on.
St. Patrick's Day weekend.
St. Patrick's Day weekend. Marty Eubanks has his tournament, so that's a great person to go out and support. That always supports the sport. Who else we got? There's several events going on. There's an event in Virginia this weekend. In Prince George area, the Dean family has an event. Say again. There's an IKF, a big event in Myrtle Beach, an IKF kickboxing event this weekend. So yeah.
I had someone reach out to me and ask me to DJ for a St. Patrick's Day party, and I'm like, all right, makes sense. It's a pretty big party day of the year. Yeah. I get it. Okay. And I'm like, where's your event? And he goes, it's going to be downtown Chicago, right where they dye the river green. And I am like, but where? Like, where's this thing going to be? Like, this is a pretty big deal. You can't just do it like anywhere in the street. Like, what are we talking about? And he goes, no, it's exactly what I want you to do. And I'm like, okay, enlighten me, right? And he goes, you know how you see the guys on bicycles and then they have like a little mixer and then they have speakers attached to the bike? I figured you could do that. And I'm like, that's not real life, pal. That's not real life. Like, that's a gimmick guy who's he's a YouTuber, right? That's not real life. And he goes, well, I'm sure it won't be that hard for you to figure it out. And I'm like, go fish. Right? You literally wanted me to get a bicycle, which I don't own. Which, come on, does anybody over 40 actively want to own a bicycle? Come on now, right? And then you want me to work while I'm on a bicycle with the most non-mobile thing ever. He's decided, like, yeah, we'll just do all of this, right? Wow. In the middle of the busiest thing.
You got a real creative guy over there, yeah.
I'm like, all right, let me in it. What's your budget for this? And he goes, I figure like $200-300. And I'm like, go fish. Yeah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We're talking 3,000 minimum, man. You're there right in the heart of that. The busiest party day of the year. You figure you could give me a most impossible thing, and then here's a couple of nickels to figure it out. Like, get out of here. It was a real thing. Somebody actually asked me that.
Let's give some shout out to Stark A. Murphy. Had a great weekend at his tournament. Give him some love. D-Stacks won. And then also we got DG.
Stark A's been going for a while now. How many years is that?
I don't remember. It's a good amount.
It's got to be almost 20.
Oh, yeah. Brandon Taylor won the weapons grand, and then Deef won the fighting grands. Awesome. Murphy's show that he puts on at night is always fun. He just puts on a great event. You know, the super fights finals is
Yeah, the
always good.
super
I
fights
think
he's the only one still doing
Peyton-
super fights, I think.
yeah, I believe Peyton won the women's super fights over championship as well. So congrats to her.
Murphy was in the chat. Murphy, how many years have you been doing Starcade? Let's see if he chimes in or if anybody knows.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I've been a couple times. A great event and lots of fun. So congrats to him. Also, Philly Pro-Am this weekend. That's always a great event. Keith McKinley puts on a great show. And man, it's always fun to see who all shows up for that because that's insane.
Yeah, because you can get like, you could just get like you could get a Jason Borelli. He'll just show up.
We will
Right?
get Jason Borelli on one side, Jotty Tension on the other, like coaching,
100%.
maybe fighting. Akin Williams, of course, will be fighting because why not? It's what he loves doing. You'll have Tyreek. You'll probably have Cam there. You'll have Darren there. I mean, it's crazy, just the level. So going to be a lot of fun. That's a great.
Really, if you think about it, geographically, like where it's at. I mean, yeah, it's the East Coast, but if you think about where it's at, it actually should be some of the best.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like attracts everyone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just if you take the best of DC, you take the best of New York, you can have some New Jersey. You'll have like Joey there. You'll have a lot of guys there, and then you can add people from Connecticut, people from even if people from New England area want to come down. Like it's sick, man. So a lot of.
I mean, I say that about Chicago. I mean, it's the Midwest, but it's the best of the Midwest is where is Chicago, but it's mid for a reason. Like it's like right here, everybody kind of come into this spot, and it's not that bad. Just stinks that it has to be January.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Oh, also, you know what though, guys? If you haven't yet, on the same page, if you're watching this live on either YouTube or Facebook, Martial Arts Center Network just put out about 3 hours ago, and I was teaching, so I didn't see that it came out. The first Beat Jeffopedia, the encyclopedia. So
it did come out.
And I haven't watched it yet, but apparently it says Anthony Merrickx thinks he can beat me. I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did. So we're gonna watch.
So you don't know the results of these things?
No,
because
I just
Angel interviewed you.
My results were. I know what my results were, and I had 10 questions, and you watched me.
I did,
and I did pretty good.
You did,
and I lost on a trick question. On the one I forgot, and I kicked myself after because I knew. Oh man, it was one of those things where I knew the answer, but I kept second guessing myself. So,
and I think I can't remember what it was, but I think I knew one of the ones you got wrong. But there was like 4 that I didn't. There was like 4 that you got right that I was like, I don't know the answer.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, like I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know too much about AKA, which I guess I knew more than what I thought. But because
that's what you said. You were like,
dude, I missed
change the topic because I don't know anything about this event. And
like my first AKA was 2000 when it was NBL, and then I only did 2000, 2001, and then didn't come back.
But that
again,
you understand, man. That's what makes you. Ago. That's where you have to be a good historian. To say that like, oh, I can't know because my first one was in 2000. That's to say like somebody right now competing that like they can never know what happened in 1996. You know what I mean?
It's true because I knew all the people who had won. I studied it. I watched a lot of film. I watched Mike Chat, like the video of him winning in like 1989, maybe, or 90, something like that. I watched a lot of different stuff from growing up at John Valera's house and just watching, going there for training. Then we would have dinner, and then I would go and sit on the couch and watch video from 88, 89, 90, 91, 92.
But the AKA Warrior Cup is a true example of and that's why, and it's what you're doing, right? You're going to come back, right? It's coming back. Just keep having the event, right?
Yeah.
I went to it was when it was the AKA Grand Nationals in 96. And it was in a gym, and there was a local tournament the same weekend back in Minnesota, and that one was bigger. And I remember thinking like, Where's everybody? And you know where everybody was? Because it was the same weekend as the Empire State Nationals. And,
Oh, right.
and everybody went there, right?
Yeah.
Everybody except for Mike Chat. Because
People
AKA.
forget, man, that like that tournament moved around dates a lot. Like it was in
It
March
did.
this point. It was in April a good amount. Like when I went, it was in April. So or maybe the end of March.
And that year I'm referencing, it was in September.
Oh, that's right. And see, but the thing is, even Empire did the same thing because when the first
Empire
year
did the same thing.
I went to
Exactly.
Empire, it was in like the very beginning of March.
Like January. I remember one time it was in January. Oh yeah,
Well,
remember
that was when we were in the Madison Square Garden.
that one. Yeah, that's
was-
right. The
Yeah,
one
that
the one like not everybody went to, but everybody knows about.
Yeah. Oh man, this is fun. Just reminiscing on things like that is fun. All right. So guys, next week we're gonna do the top 540 list. I
540.
don't know. I think it will be a miracle if we even have the same people in the top, or at least one person the same. You know what I mean?
I think
These
we'll
all right
have
now
two.
we have, right? We've had at least one the same, I think, on each one so far.
Yes. This one we had
Okay.
3. I think
I'm going back on
I think
all
we
our
got-
lists. So
No, see, Abeda, I agree with that. And you know what, Abeda? Not only I think they should have 2. That's what I think. I think they should have 2 events.
like
100%. All right.
are they both going to be nice?
Why not? Why not?
I mean, I like having the 2 big tournaments in Vegas. One was in the summer, one was in the winter, one was NASCAR, one was in BL. That was the coolest thing ever.
Put the thing in the end of July.
Yeah. So
You put a tournament
guys,
in
we
Chicago at
did-
the end of July. Oh
Hey.
my goodness.
what was our first one? Our first one was top 5 butterfly kicks. Was that our first list? I thought we did
No,
something else.
sidekicks. We did sidekicks.
I didn't even
We did
write that down.
sidekicks.
So we did
That's when we
sidekicks.
had Ernest Cat Miller on.
Yes, we did top 5 butterfly kicks.
Butterfly
we did
kicks,
ridge hands, and we did
axe kicks.
axe kicks. All right, hold on, guys. I forgot to do this last week, and before we finish up, I had 2 ridge hand stories. Okay,
Oh, nice.
one was happened at the Team CJB workout in Miami before we all got onto a cruise to go to Cozumel, right? And we did 2-on-2 team fights, and whoever won I think we got an extra $300 a piece or something like that, right? So we did
What a
just
team.
lots of fun things, right? That we would do, right? So
So you guys were like a legit version of Team Metro.
wow. All right.
Think
Anyways,
about it.
so I think we had like Mallory Woods and a guy from Guatemala that came in there. We had like John Sue, and I think Renee maybe might have been it, or maybe that was Mallory and Renee. I'm not sure. And then we had myself. No, we had Claire. Honestly, this was probably the toughest team that you looked at first. Claire and Russ Taylor, right? Then you had me and Trevor, and then you had Leroyce and Jason. All right. So we had Trevor and I versus Claire. So
This
we had
isn't tagging. This is not tagging.
Well, it's not tagging. No. So
Who
we had
was Trevor paired with again?
me.
Okay.
So we beat John Sue, and I think it might have been Mallory. And then we go against Claire and Russ. And so I get Claire. So we're fighting, and Claire's a lot taller than me. But again, I'm gonna hit her with the ridge hand. Why not? Okay. So I check
How
her.
though? Doesn't she fight right side?
Yeah, I still did it. So, anyways,
How'd you do it? You
I
fight
do
right
too.
side.
Yeah, so I did it. So I checked her leg and I just went straight in, and my head went down right on her waist, and I hit her, whoa, right in the throat because, well, my arm is not.
You were aiming. You were trying.
I was
to come
aiming at her
right
head,
in
and
the
it
middle
went
of
to
the
her
crown
throat.
of her
Yeah.
head, but it just didn't quite reach.
Boom, didn't quite reach. Yeah, so that was hilarious. We ended up winning that one, and then we ended up going against Leroyce and
Jason.
Jason, and they beat us by 1. Yeah. And
See,
you
that's
know.
the thing. Anytime I've fought in Jason or I've fought on a Jason Borelli team, that's what you win or you lose by like 1 or 2, or you lose by 14.
Yeah. 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 That's it, man. So that was a fun time, right? This ridge hand story, this next one is not fun. I was involved, but I was a judge. And it was Jimmy Sherman fighting a guy named CJ Corbin. CJ Corbin was from another Spartan martial arts competitor. This was at like an NBL regional in North Carolina. Okay. William Reed's tournament, I believe. 2007. Yes. Because Super Grands that year was in Myrtle Beach. This tournament happened September. Okay. Super Grands was Thanksgiving weekend. So we got like 2 months, a little over 2 months, right? This is for the Grand. If I tell you someone from Spartan Martial Arts that is a kicker, they probably have a high chamber, right? And probably a universal chamber that's going to be like this.
Yes.
So
their heel will be the low point, and that one will be at your shoulder.
Right. So Jimmy likes to hit people with a body ridge hand.
Super fun. Really fun.
Yes. But does that work with someone with a high chamber that does not?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He does it, and it all goes on the block by the shin. And I'm the corner judge, and all I hear is pop, like, and it popped across the whole gym. And I immediately just turned and like, oh, and like I almost threw up. Like it was that nasty and bad.
He break his arm?
Oh, he broke it. He ran all the way across the room. Like the whole people had to tackle him. The medic had to tackle him to get him to stop and chill out.
He was in shock. He was just gone.
Yeah. And that was how the tournament ended. Because that was
the whole tournament was just like, all right, everybody's get in your car and go home.
Yeah, CJ, here's the money, man. Sorry, All right. Yeah, it was wild, dude. So here's the thing. He got his whole arm, he got metal rod put in, everything. Guess what he does?
He did it again.
He goes, competes at Super Grands and wins a world title.
Because
I think he won.
Because now he won. Break.
He fought like, I don't know, like 7 to 8 times or something like that. It was crazy. And then he fought like a returning Mauricio Valenzuela, who was an NBL legend from Guatemala, and came back, and they went at it. And then what even was crazier was that after he won, he's over there talking, yeah, they can't mess with me. And then the rest of the Guatemalan team comes near us, and all of us are like, whoa, this is a good old school time. So yeah. So that was a fun one.
Dude.
Yeah.
I give you one real quick. And this is a personal one, right? This is young. Just hit the adults, like legit adult,
Yeah.
Like now I'm in the adults. Not like I'm 16 and I'm 18. Okay.
Right.
You know who else is 18? BJ. Right. BJ Carnahan.
Always
sucks. BJ Carnahan is notorious. He was notorious for missing his division by like 2 minutes or making it with like 2 minutes. Like they had to all right, well, let's reshuffle. Right. That's not what happened this time. BJ missed it by like 45 minutes. Right. The tournament's almost done. I lost to a guy from Professional Karate Studios who's very, very good. They had a very good school. Yeah, right. I wasn't really, really good then. I'm 18. I'm kind of good. I got some skill. Right. And I'm like, oh man, jeez. You know how you feel, Jeff, when you're like, man, it's just I got at least like 3 more fights left in me. I could be, but I'm done. Yeah. And you're doing one of these things, and BJ shows up. Now, BJ had a string that year where he either locally he won the whole tournament or he got disqualified. Right? That was it. There was no other option for him. Right? Because he was very good. Right? Yeah. He's very skilled. So he either beat everybody or he took himself out by knocking them out. Right? It wouldn't be like, oh man, he's a little dinged, like he can't go. Like, no, he'd spin hook kick them, their head would bounce off the gym floor, or he'd ridge hand them and just like crack their nose apart. And it was like, all right, well, you're done, BJ. People literally had conversations like, we should just not let him compete ever again. When he was 18 years old, they were like, we should never let him compete again. Right? Yeah. So he comes and he's like, oh man, really? I came all this way? Because it was like an hour and a half away from him. All right. Yeah. And people are like, all right, well, does anybody want to do an exhibition fight with him? Right.
Oh, God.
And everybody's like, people like stepped back. And I'm like, the correct answer for me right now is no. But I'm like, I'm also an hour and a half away, and I only had like 2 fights. I'm like, dang it. I'm like, I'll fight. I'll go.
Yeah.
And and we're friends, right?
Yeah.
He's like, man, Dingman, thanks so much, man. This is good. At least I got something, right?
Yeah.
He's got nothing to fight for. It's just me and him. He's not going to try to go for it. Wrong, right?
Wrong.
This is in the first of 5 days, right? So we're at 3-3, and I've gotten hit a few times, and I'm like, man, I just got to get one. If I can get one, I can be there, right? And so I'm not fast at this point, and I'm not a great blitzer, but I do it. And pop, I catch him, boom, and then he front ridge hands me like super hard, right? But I get the point, and I'm like, shit. This is in the first 5 days. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to win, I'll take another one of those. Go ahead, and I'll beat you, BJ. I'll beat you with your game. You're trying to, knock me out. Boom, boom. I'll beat you, and I won't get knocked out. Well, BJ's also not a dummy. He's an actual genius, right?
Yeah.
BJ's an actual genius, right?
Yeah,
not that you would need to be to get this. So I tell it, right? I'm coming. BJ steps back. Now he gets more space, and he destroys my nose, right?
Oh.
So like the strapping, like on the hand pad,
Yeah.
that was imprinted right here on my face for a week. A week. The grid was imprinted right here. I mean, my nose blew apart, right? From a front ridge hand with no wind up, just steps back, pow, right? Just like that. It's not even like a hook where you're getting your whole shoulder into it, right? Just fast twitch, just boom, blew my nose apart and tattooed my face. I'm like, you freaking suck. But what am I gonna do? Get mad at him, right? Right? You kind of, I mean, I guess you didn't need to hit me that hard, but I'm the one who launched my face into you. Oh,
yeah,
sucks.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I should tell stories about when I actually win. Why don't I ever do that? I always tell stories about when I lose.
We need to work on that. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for a show. Awesome show. And we're going to have a great one next week as well. Bring your top 540 lists next week. And let's work.
Go back, watch some videos.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys. Thank you, Jeromy Roque.